guys, it's Jessie V, and in today's video, I'm going to be telling you guys about some very popular songs that are said to be very cursed. All of these surprised me because I know every single one of these songs, and I know you guys do too, or at least most of them, and they have some very scary history and hidden meanings and weird things that happened while they were being recorded, and yeah, they're just said to be cursed. So now whenever I hear them, I'm gonna be a little bit scared, but you guys still have to know about them because it's mind-blowing. Before I get started though, I just want to mention that today's video is sponsored by BetterHelp. Now you guys know that I've been super open about my mental health journey. I've made so many videos about my experience. I have struggled with depression and anxiety pretty much my whole life. And one thing that has really helped me is therapy. And so the question I have for you guys is something interfering with your happiness or preventing you from achieving your goals? And regardless if you have a clinical mental health issue like anxiety or depression, or if you're just a human living in this world who is going through a very hard time, therapy can give you tools to approach your life in different ways. And that's why I was super excited to tell you guys about this sponsor, BetterHelp. BetterHelp's mission is to make therapy more affordable and more accessible. And this is just a very important mission because finding a good therapist can be very difficult, especially when you're limited to the options in your area. So BetterHelp is a platform that makes finding a therapist easier because it's online. It's remote, and by filling out a few questions, BetterHelp can match you to a professional therapist within a few days, which is amazing. So it's easy to sign up and get matched with a therapist. There's a link in my description. It's betterhelp.com/Jessie. And by clicking on this link, it'll give you 10% off your first month of BetterHelp. So you'll be able to connect to a therapist and see if it helps you. And because finding a good therapist for you is sort of like dating, if you don't really fit with that therapist, which is a common thing when you go to therapy, you can easily switch to a new therapist at no cost. So you don't have to stress about insurance, who's in your network, anything like that. So if you're struggling, consider online therapy with BetterHelp. Click the link in my description, and thank you so much again to BetterHelp for supporting this channel. Alright guys, so let's get into the main topic of today's video, talking about songs that are said to be cursed. Songs often tell tales of love, heartbreak, and adventure, yet beneath the surface, some have become entwined with eerie tales and mysterious urban legends. So the first song I want to talk about is called Love Roller Coaster. Now, Love Roller Coaster was a song made by a band called Ohio Players in 1975, and it quickly became a funk classic. Now, there's an urban legend surrounding this song because if you listen very carefully, you will hear a distant scream during this song. Now, according to the legend, the scream was a result of a woman being unalived somewhere in the studio while the song was being recorded, and some have said it was the cleaning lady. There's another version of the story where a woman crashed through the glass of the recording studio, and due to limited recording time, the performers were forced to finish their session while the injured woman was being tended to. And this myth grew for decades after the song's release, and finally, after many years, the drummer named Jimmy Williams finally revealed that one of their bandmates purposely let out the legendary scream, and they decided not to say anything for years because it was selling the album. This mysterious legend was making people want to listen to the song, so it was kind of like bad publicity was good publicity. Now, of course, I can't play these songs for you on my channel because it would get copywritten, but if you just like do a quick search and look for this song, it's there. And it's pretty scary. Next, we have My Way by Frank Sinatra. People in the Philippines believe the song My Way by Frank Sinatra is cursed. According to the urban legend, every time someone sings the song, something bad typically happens. This myth gained even more traction in the early 2000s when someone would sing My Way in a karaoke bar and violence would erupt. Now, there were about a dozen killings from 2002 to 2012, and at least one in 2018. So for some reason, when you're in a karaoke bar and this song is sung or played, violence breaks out and people die, which is crazy. Like, this is documented. Now, violence was so prevalent around the song that bar owners began to ban patrons from singing it. Then we had the song Strawberry Fields Forever by the Beatles. There was a rumor going around for a while that Paul was actually dead, and according to the legend, Paul McCartney died in a car crash in 1966 and was replaced by a double. And it's said that the remaining band members left left clues in their albums basically saying that he had died. One clue was rumored to be in the song Strawberry Fields Forever. When the song's outro is played backwards, John Lennon is allegedly saying, "I buried Paul." Now, the Beatles have always denied this rumor, with Lennon explaining that he just uttered cranberry sauce. But I kind of feel like Ty and I should reverse this song on the vlog channel to see if that's what he's actually saying. Because if he's saying "I buried Paul," that is terrifying. Alright, then we have the classic "In the Air Tonight" by Phil Collins. I'm sure most people have heard this song, and there's a very creepy rumor that it's about Phil Collins witnessing a drowning. So there's a line in the song that goes, "I was there and I saw what you did. Saw it with my own two eyes. You can wipe off that grin. I know where you've been. It's all been a pack of lies." While there are variations on the legend, the story goes that Collins saw someone watching another person drown and did nothing to help. He invites the alleged murderer to his concert and reveals what he knows. And the legend was so well known and so talked about that even Eminem brought it up in one of his songs called Stan. This is a lyric that he had. It said, "You know the song by Phil Collins, 'In the Air Tonight,' about the guy who could have saved that other guy from drowning, but didn't. Then Phil saw it all. Then at a show he found him." So that's kind of creepy. But I believe that Phil Collins has been denying this rumor. And lastly, we have the song called Brandy, You're a Fine Girl. Brandy was a huge hit by the band Looking Glass back in 1972. It's about a girl who fell in love with a sea captain who couldn't bring himself to leave his first love. And here's the classic lyrics. It says, "Brandy, you're a fine girl, what a good wife you would be. But my life, my lover, my lady is the sea." Now, there's an actual legend that this song was based on. Mary Ellis was a woman that lived from 1750 to 1827, and according to the story, Mary fell in love with a sea captain who vowed to come back one day to marry her. She waited in the same spot overlooking the Raritan River for his ship to return, but it never did. And when she died, she requested to be buried in that spot, which now sits smack dab in the middle of a movie theater parking lot. Now, I believe they denied that this song was based on that as well, so we don't really know, but these songs are said to be cursed, which is so creepy. And guys, there are so many other popular songs that you may know that I could talk about. So if you want me to do a part 2, give this video a thumbs up and let me know. And once again, thank you so much to BetterHelp for sponsoring today's video. Don't forget to click the link down in my description. But I hope you have an awesome rest of your day, and I will see you in my next video. Bye! We used to always watch movies together, Disney movies that we shouldn't have been watching, like Charlie's Angels and like all kinds of stuff that we would definitely sneak and watch. But we did this thing where we would choose a character to be. Do you remember that? So we'd look at all the characters and Mandy would be like, "I want to be that girl," whatever character it was, and I would choose one. And that whole movie, like, we'd react depending on what our character was doing, and it was
I think
fun.
about that all the time whenever I like watch movies where we do that.
Yeah.
Even like when I'm with Luca, and I just remember that being a thing.
I don't know if anyone else has done that or if that's just a you and me thing.
But we used to do that with our cousins and stuff too.
Well,
we used to
them.
force it upon them.
We'd be like,
we used to be like, you and I would choose, and we'd be like, "Okay, that leaves this person for you."
And it'd always be like the worst character. It's like, "Sorry, little cousin, that one's you." And they'd be like, "No." And we'd be like, "You have to be one."
No, we'd like try to convince them. We'd be like, "No, like they're so great. Like they're literally the best."
Yeah,